Hello, welcome. Thanks for taking some time to get on your mat again today. So we're going to do a practice today that is based on Hanuman Salutations. I think I may have mentioned a little while back that I was going to do the story for you of Hanuman and how the postures go. And after rethinking that, I have to say that that's a very special thing to me, and it's a very special skill that I have. A skill that I don't see very many other teachers do. And so I'm not going to give that away, actually. I'm not going to give that away to the internet. So if you want to hear the Hanuman story sometime, you have to come take class with me live in person and ask for it, and I will tell it to you. But those of you who've done it with me before, you know that it's just something that it needs to be done in person. And so I'm not going to tell you the story, but we will still do some Hanuman Salutations, and I'll give you a little bit of background on why we make the shapes that we do when we are doing these postures that are devoted to Hanuman. If you don't know anything about Hanuman, look him up. If you got time, do a little research. Hanuman, I will say, is above and beyond being one of many thousands of deities in the pantheon of Hindu gods and goddesses and demigods, which is what Hanuman really is, because he's not completely God or man. He's a little combination of the two. Above and beyond all of that, he is a symbol of devotion. A symbol of this sort of absolute devotion not only to his fellow man, but to this idea of compassion and love. And so whenever I practice Hanuman Salutes, there's something about them that just brings you back to that idea of being compassionate to yourself, being compassionate to others, and really the valor, I'm not sure the word I'm looking for, but how it still is a very great quality to be willing to give yourself fully over to something, right? And that can be anything. That can be a higher power. That can be just giving yourself fully to the present, to the people, the things in your life that bring you joy, you know, whatever your brain likes to think about in terms of something that that you can surrender to. That's the word I was looking for. So let's start our little practice here, and we'll get into some of these Hanuman Salutes. From the physical aspect, if you're not really interested in the spiritual aspect of the Hanuman side, I will tell you that Hanuman Salutes are fantastic for the back side of your body. They really help bring length into the spine, especially into the hamstrings, into the hips. Hanuman's pose, if you're not familiar, is the splits. And we will work toward that today. Don't worry, you don't have to do the splits if you don't want to. But using the salutations is one of the best possible ways for you to kind of get closer to that posture if that's something you're interested in. If not, you're still going to get all the benefit of opening up the backside of the body. And so let's start in child's pose and just right off the bat work on lengthening out the spine a little bit. Bring your forehead down. Settle in, relax your shoulders. Let your hips sink way back towards your heels. And then just start to imagine that line of energy from your tailbone to the crown of your head, making your spine feel even longer. Let your chest begin to feel heavy. Drop your heart center. And from this place, from this little bow to yourself right off the bat, start to connect deeper to what's going on the inside, right? Check in with your body, check in with your breath. Slow down your mind and allow for some space. Not just in your physical body, but in your subtle body, how you feel on the inside. Open up a little bit, make room to be right here, right now. Connecting to your breath is the simplest way to bring yourself into the present moment. Every inhalation is happening in that very moment, right? Same with the exhale. So staying connected to your breath quite literally keeps you connected to the present. Let's do 5 more. Full breaths in. Deep, satisfying exhales out. And take your time. After that long, deep, satisfying exhale, bring yourself up. And we're going to bring the knees in, and then from a tabletop position, walk your hands forward, and once again, drop your heart, but keep your tailbone up high this time. Just bringing the heart center and the chin down for a moment. Sometimes this posture is called like puppy pose, kind of halfway between child's pose and down dog. Starting to open the shoulders and the upper back. Good. One more time. Inhale. Exhale completely. All right, and then shift yourself back up. We'll draw the hands in. Take a little bit of time to just work through some cats and cows. Arching the spine as you tilt the tailbone and lift the chin. Exhale around all the way through your cat stretch. Forward and back. Once more into your cat, and this time tuck your toes, lift your hips, back to downward facing dog. Open up the back side of your body. Just lift and lower the heels, and then let's let the heels just start to swivel. Right to left, left and right, and keep this going a little bit longer than you might normally. So you really want to bring awareness around again to the hamstrings. All the way down through the IT bands. At the same time, we're strong and pressing through the palms to keep the spine nice and long. Good. And then back to center in your down dog. Let's do 5 deep knee bends here. We're going to drop the hips almost as if you were going to put those knees down and take it into child's pose. And at the last moment, lift back up, look up and in for your belly button. Keep the neck long. Again, drop the knees, the hips down low. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend. 2 more times. Inhale, hips up. Press through your heels. Exhale, nice and low. Once more. Warming up. Exhale. Good. On this one, drop it all the way back down into your child's pose. Untuck your toes, push your hips back. On your next inhale, shift your weight forward. Slide out to your belly. Stretch your legs behind you and lift into Cobra. first real look at what's going on in your low belly, your low back. Notice that my hips are still on the ground. So this is different from up dog, right? In upward facing dog, our hands are way back here and we're off the mat. It's just palms and tops of feet. Cobra Pose, hands are forward a little bit. Elbows are tucked in by your ribs and everything below your belly button is still on the ground. Good. Release. Take it back to child's pose. Exhale. Hips to the heels. And now let's do a little warm up there. So we're going to come forward on the inhale. And let your belly drop. Lift your gaze. Tilt your tail. One cow. Exhale. Round out through cat. Back to neutral spine. Breathe in. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog on the breath up. Forward to a high plank. New posture here. Top of a push-up. Then you can lower halfway or all the way, but we're taking it straight down. Knees can help, right? Lifting through, there's your cobra, or if you'd rather take it into that up dog now, you sure can. You know the difference between the two, right? Even from here, we're gonna relax the knees, relax the thighs, and everybody goes back to child's pose. Do it again. Inhale. Tilt the tail, rise up, find your cow stretch. Exhale, round all the way through cat. Now you can just curl the toes under right there from cat to dog. Hips press up and back. Inhale the high plank. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Good. Put your knees down if you're in up dog and take it back all the way to child's pose. We'll do it one more time. Okay, so shift your weight forward. Next breath in. It's a big inhale all the way to that arched back. Exhale, round through the spine. Curl the toes under from cat. Lift the hips to down dog. Inhale, forward to high plank. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Up dog or cobra, stretch. Knees on the mat. Back to your child's pose. Okay. Let's take it through our Hanuman Salutation. So in the great stories of Hanuman, and there are several, there's a lot that happens to Hanuman, and like I said, most of what happens has something to do with this lesson of devotion. Take a look forward and slowly step, hop, or walk your feet toward the top of the mat. In the story that this salute is based on, Hanuman ends up having to make this giant leap. And I don't want to spoil the plot line for you, but he has to go on a mission, basically, to save a princess and to help his devoted sweet friend Rama. And so that's what we're going to symbolize when we do this salute, is this giant leap. And that's why Hanuman's posture looks like the splits, right? Because you imagine somebody leaping through the air. So we'll go through it 3 times. We'll go real slow on the first one. You can just roll and stack your way up to stand. Shoulders back and down a few times. Good. And then draw the palms to press at heart center, Samastitihi. So the Hanuman Salutation looks a lot like the moon salute, which some of you know. It just has a couple of extra movements. And because there's no set variation on what those movements have to be, you'll probably see different variations of Hanuman Salutes as well. And that's a good thing. It just means that, you know, there's different stories being told, and that's the way that storytelling goes, right? The story's always a little different depending on who tells it. And drop the hands to the sides, stand tall. And finding your Tadasana mountain pose for a moment here. Good, and then on the inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, take a big dive down. Half lift and lengthen. All right, start with a vinyasa, step, hop, or walk back. High to low. Urdhva inhale, Bhujangasana. Find your back bend. This time you take it to down dog on the exhale. And lift your right leg up behind you. Just kick straight back. Keep your hips square. On the exhale, step through. Find a nice low lunge. So you're going to come all the way into the kneeling position on the back knee. Sweep the arms up. Just imagine here that inside you could feel that pull and lift of your bandhas, right? So everything's, even though your legs are apart, it's gonna feel like you're trying to squeeze your inner thighs together and you're engaged behind and below the belly button. Everything is strong. Palms together, if you can, add a little bit of a back bend here. Anjaneyasana. Anjane is Hanuman's mother. And so before we can make his pose, we have to make hers, right? Because that's where he comes from. So let's add a little bit more of a lift through the heart here. And exhale, sweep your hands down, find the mat, and now just lean into your right thigh for a breath or two. Create a little compression there along the inner crease of your hip. Good. Next inhale, lift your gaze. Rock your hips back, flex your toes. This is the start of what's called Ardell Hanumanasana, or half Hanuman pose, or half splits as we know it, right? So drop in, take the stretch over your right shin. It's okay to round and relax the upper back here. Keep drawing the navel in. 3, 2, and 1. And then we're just gonna shift back and forth between those two poses 3 times. So I'm gonna look forward on the inhale, make sure my right foot is firmly planted back into the mat, and sweep the arms back up to Anjane. Exhale, bring the hands down. Inhale, press back, flex the toes. Exhale, fold. Inhale, shift forward, arms come up. And just start to smooth out the transition between the movements. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, press back. Exhale, fold. One more time. Take it forward. Sweep the hands. You can let this posture get really big and expressive and open. It is, in fact, the only posture that is truly feminine in nature and named after a woman. So, let it feel kind of soft and curvy. Bring it forward and press it back. Now on your last time here, just stay, and if it feels okay, slide your heel forward a few inches. And then walk your hands forward a few inches and take that a little bit deeper. Now you're really focused on opening up the back side of the right leg. Long from your heel to your sits bone. 3, 2, 1. Lift the gaze, inhale. And you're gonna pull that heel back towards you and then shift your weight into your front foot. Inhale, lengthen as you come off your back knee, a little lift of your heart here. Every time we bring the heart up when we're talking about Hanuman postures, right? It's all about that idea that Hanuman was a bhakti yogi, that everything he did came from the heart. Step forward and fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, reverse. Take it all the way up to stand, sweep the arms up, little back bend at the top, right back down. Start with a full vinyasa again. Half lift and lengthen here. Step, walk, or hop back, high to low. If you didn't want a vinyasa, you could just stay in down dog or plank. Up dog or cobra through. Back to downward facing dog. Lift your left leg straight back behind you. Hips stay square. Step through, low lunge. All the way down onto the right knee. Low belly, everything pulls in and up as I rise. I'm gonna make sure these bandhas are engaged, and then add the arms up. Find a little bit of a back bend. Pull your palms together if you can. Gaze up towards your thumbs. Breathe. 3, 2, and 1. Circle the hands around. Lean into your left thigh for a moment. Chin into the chest. Round out the shoulders. And gaze forward. Press back. Just rocking on the heel. Flex the toes toward the nose. This first version, we're just pushing the hips back and dropping the weight forward. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, pull that heel towards you a little bit. Shift your weight in. Arms come up. Now 3 times, let's rock between these 2 poses. Hands down on the exhale. Press back and fold. Inhale, forward, up into your lunge. Exhale, take a bow. Inhale, back and breathe in. Stay on the exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, Anjane. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Ardell Hanumanasana. Stay on the exhale, last one here. Now, maybe slide your heel forward a few inches, a little bit closer to the front edge of your mat. You'll know your edge when you find it, because you're going to find that spot in the pose where if you went any further, it's going to be a little too much. And if you maybe backed out a tad, it wouldn't be quite enough. Sensation is not overwhelming, but it certainly has your attention here, right? 3, 2, 1. Draw your heel back in a little bit. Shift your weight into your front foot. Come off that back knee. Inhale right there. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, stretch. Right side, hip flexors there. Really nice and long. And then to the top and fold. All right, let's move through that one time now. 1 breath, 1 movement, all the way through. We'll inhale, reverse, and rise. Take it up. Exhale, dive. Down with me on the forward fold. Half lift. Starts with the sun salutation. And back, downward facing dog, right leg up high. Step through, find your lunge. Keep it low, arms reach up. Exhale, take the hands down. Now if I was feeling a little confident here, maybe I don't need to use my hands. Maybe I can just stretch them back or interlace my fingers behind my back and do this with the strength of the core, right? Get creative, like I said. Upper body movements, all your own. Do what feels good. There's 2, 1 more time, inhale. Exhale, press back. Take your biggest dive down there. Hands back to the ground as you inhale, look forward. Little lift here as you prep that lunge. On the exhale, step and fold. Reverse, rise, squeeze the legs together as you come up. And exhale, dive back down. Half lift and lengthen. Good. Back and through, Chaturanga Dandasana. So this salutation can really build some heat. It doesn't take long to feel your body nice and warm, left leg up. Step through. Lunges low, arms come up. Inhale, really use your low belly muscles. Exhale, hands down, or maybe you're starting to feel like you can do this. Putting some faith in the bandhas, in those low belly muscles. Reach it back up again. Exhale, sweep it back. Modification, just keep those fingertips on the mat, no problem. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale, press it back, take your deepest dive down. Gaze forward, Shift your weight again. Little lift off that back knee, gaze up, pull your heart center forward. Exhale, fold. Stay right there, wrap your arms around your legs, take a deeper breath. Okay, here comes our last time through, and now we'll get a little bit closer to the full splits. So reverse it, rise, just, there we go. All the way up, sometimes you gotta do a little wardrobe adjustment. Exhale, back down. Good, half lift. And high to low. Now, if you were trying to really, make this a workout, which remember, should not be the goal of yoga all the time. You really want to connect to your body, but you could reverse here. You could take it back, adding in that little double up vinyasa, right leg up high. If you wanted, you could put a knee to the nose or a knee to an elbow in here first. These are just options. Step through and find your lunge. Now let's make it a high lunge all the way up on this breath in to the top. Exhale, sweep the hands back, lean out over your front thigh, pull your elbows, shoulder blades, everything back behind you and fire up your back muscles. Sweep the hands low so that the fingertips graze the mat. Take it back up to the lunge. Exhale, sweep those hands around. Good. Making some big circles with the arms. One more time. Up. Sweep it back. Take it all the way to your lunge. Inhale. And now on the exhale, just lower to that back knee. Stay right there, untuck your back toes, lean back as much as you can. Add as much of a back bend to this as possible. 2, 1, hands come down. Press the hips back, flex the front toes. Now right away, slide your right heel forward, forward, forward. Keep walking your hands alongside, and maybe, just maybe, your heel's gonna go right off the front edge of your mat, and you keep sliding that foot. If you're comfortable in your splits, then just get right into them. If splits is a new thing for you, maybe you're just gonna stop right about here. But look at how much closer you are than you were when you started, right? You can see that over time, working with this salutation on a regular basis will get you a little bit closer. So wherever you're at, if you're here with me, I'll stay modified. Those of you who are in a comfortable full split, you can take your arms up here if you'd like. Lots of different variations. Some of those variations, again, have to do with what's going on in the story at any given moment in time. But here's the leap. Here's our big heroic leap, right? So you want to feel a little bit like a hero here. Keep your heart up, a little smile on your face. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. All right. Slowly and mindfully, carefully, pull that heel back in. Press all the way back. If you'd like, you can sink all the way back down onto that heel. Just lower and put your heel right between your glutes and stretch over your right leg for a moment. My Ashtanga friends probably know this posture as Janu Shirshasana B version, where we sit on the foot. And then let's shift the weight back into the front foot. And just as a little celebration, take a twist here at the end. Just really open everything up. Hands come down. And exhale, step to the top and fold. We do that one time through, all the way from top to bottom on the other side. Arms reach up, sweep up. Take your stretch, take your little back bend. Exhale, fold. Right on down. Half lift. Last vinyasa here. High to low. You could sneak in a little extra something if you want to reverse that vinyasa. If you want to modify, it's all up to you. Left leg high. If you want to sneak a knee to the nose or a knee to the elbow in there, another option. Step through. Good. High lunge first this time. So we're going to anchor back through the right heel and really keep the center of gravity low. Right leg is straight and strong. You've got a 90-degree bend in that left knee. Palms come up and over. Good. Exhale, find your balance first, right? Get real low to the ground. The hands can sweep. Good. Take it back up. Inhale. Again, exhale, sweep. And if you want to make like a full circular motion here, that's cool. Bring the arms back up from behind you. Exhale, sweep it again. One more time up to your lunge. Pull your navel in tight. Slowly, carefully lower to your back knee. Untuck your right toes and now lean way back into your back bend. 3, 2, 1. Hands come down. Good. Press the hips back a little bit so you can flex the toes. This is kind of you getting ready to make your leap, right? You're pressing back so you can get a running start at it, and then just start. Sliding your heel forward. See how far you want to go. You'll know that spot when you find it, right? Anything more is going to be a little too much. Good. Do not be surprised if the two sides of your body feel different. This side is much more of a challenge for me, right? It doesn't mean there's anything wrong. Don't think about it as a judgment. You know, it's just an observation that I may need to put a little bit more focus, attention, and certainly compassion into the stretch on this side of my body. So, to make sure that I am being present, I'm just going to close my eyes and breathe here for a few moments. Try to relax as much tension out of the neck and shoulders as possible. 3, 2. Now, if you wanted to stay here longer, by all means, stay in your splits as long as you'd like. If it's feeling good, time and patience is key, right? Same thing on your release. Slowly, carefully, take your time and then just keep going back. Walk your hands back, angle your right heel underneath of you and sit down on that heel and stretch softly now over the left leg. Take a look forward, breathe in, shift your weight back up, stay in that low lunge. You might lift off the back knee and then add a twist. Open to your left. 5, 4, 3, 2, gaze comes down, hands to the ground, and 1, step your feet together and fold at the top of your mat. Nice job. All right, this time on your inhale, you can lift your gaze. You're just gonna drop down through a little crouching curl position, take yourself right into a seat, stretch your legs out in front. Give everything a little wiggle out, shake out. And then we're going to finish this up pretty simply. There's another famous posture that happens here. This isn't part of the salute, but I always put this pose into a class about Hanuman because in the story there is a bridge that gets built, and it's all part of this rescue plan that Hanuman and Rama and his brother Lakshmana are trying to save a princess, and at one point they have to build a little bridge in order to get where they need to go. So let's make a bridge pose here. Feet on the ground, walk those heels in, and lower yourself onto your back, and then press up. And not only is this representative of the story, but this is just a great release because we worked really deeply into the hip flexors, right? With all those lunges, and of course, into the splits. Now try to relax your glutes in the backside of your body. Don't use any force there. Just feel the feet firmly rooted. Think about turning on your quadriceps a little bit more than your glutes. and breathe. If you want to interlace your fingers under here and push the hips higher, that's up to you. It's not necessary though. This is really just a counter pose. It should feel good. And when you've had enough, take it down nice and slow. Get your spine fully reconnected. That might mean you need to just rock your shoulder blades out from underneath of you. Feel your tailbone get heavy, then bring the knees in, give them a quick squeeze. If it feels good to take it into maybe a little straddle stretch or a happy baby here at the end, perhaps just one more twist is what you need. I'll let you kind of put the finishing touches on this little practice. Eventually, give yourself time to just find any place that feels good to rest your body. I'm going to do Baddha Konasana, the bottoms of the feet together and the knees open, and just keep relaxing those inner hips and thighs here. And just rest the hands somewhere on your torso, navel, heart center, whatever feels comforting to you. Close your eyes. Slow your breathing all the way back down. Take a moment or two here while you're resting to just remember, like we said earlier, that this practice is about compassion. So think of some things that you could probably be a little bit more compassionate about, or some things that you already feel compassion for, that you're simply maybe grateful or joyful to have in your life. And the story is also just as much about bravery, about conquering fear and really rediscovering your own potential. So perhaps just a couple more exhales here, and on each breath out, let go of something that's standing in your way, something that you don't need to hold on to anymore, something that perhaps you're a little fearful of, something that's bringing you a sense of discomfort or anxiety, and you no longer want to cling to that. Let it go. Exhale it out. Just put forth a good, solid mental effort to let it go. And of course, you're always welcome to just stay resting and meditating on those ideas for as long as you'd like. If, however, you do want to move around a little bit, or the time has come and you're just feeling refreshed and rested, then slowly bring your knees in. Again, just rock out any tension you might still feel in the low back, the glutes, the hips. And then take it over to one side, curl up for a moment there. And slowly, gently, always with compassion and mindfulness, bring yourself up, find a seat, and then end your practice with a bow to yourself, to the light, the love in you, and to the light, the love in all things. Thank you for getting on your mat and practicing today. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. Like I said, come find me someday again in the future, and I'll tell you the full story. But in the meantime, enjoy those salutations as a nice way to just work on opening up the back side of the body and the hips. And for those of you who have always wanted to do the splits, it's never too late to start. Anybody can do it. It just takes patience and time and a little bit of bravery, right? Have a fantastic time with it. I'll see you soon. Take care of yourself and each other. Namaste.